under the operating systems, we were discussing these topics, right? So evaluation, and then what are these operating system types? Single user, single task, single user, multitask. I think we discussed that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Single user, single task, multitask, real time. Right. These are things. And time sharing systems. Time sharing systems are also. So I said that the round robin algorithm. So like that, time sharing systems are basically it's having limited resources, right? So but we didn't write. I think we wrote right. So it has limited resources. What will happen? It will share the time. It will share the resources for the various tasks. For an example, think that a file is copied from one place to another place, and another file you start copying another file. So these are two resources, two files. But the thing is, even two files are physically there. So processors, the physical number of processors and physical number of memory is not going to change, right? Not going to change. So it's limited. So among these two files, processor and memory need to be shared. So this time sharing focus on sharing time between these two systems. And so one is this round robin. So you share the time equally. There are some other methods like priority scheduling, priority base, where the priority is given for one. And for an example, virus scanning, you can give the priority to the virus scan. And other tasks will be slowed down, but virus scan will run smoothly, right? So likewise, you can prioritize that. That is the prioritized system. So some time sharing can be equally or prioritized, or maybe fastest job first. You can complete the fastest one and then revert to the slower one. First, you complete the faster one and then go to the slower one. That is another way of time sharing. And so there's another one is shortest job first. So whatever you can finish earlier, you finish it and attend to the second job. There is another way. Likewise, time sharing can be like it has multiple ways of doing that, right? And okay, the next thing is we discuss about the practical part too. And next thing is file types, need of file types, and this file hierarchy, and this file allocation, fragmentation, defragmentation, these topics. Okay, today we are going to discuss about these topics. Actually, these topics are also practicals. Right? These topics are also practicals. I would like to demonstrate one by one. And so for that, I need your support. You have to share the screen. Okay, so first let's see what is, so first we'll write down a short note about this, a file type, file hierarchy, the security of the file system, and storage management, all these things. First let's study these two, file types and directory and file organization. Okay, just write heading, file types. File types. A file has file name and extension. File has file name and extension. Extension is used to identify the file type, the program to be used to open the file, icon of the file, and how to register the file in file tables. In addition to this, file has different attributes related to file security, created, modified, maybe created, modified, accessed, dates, read only, hidden, system status, and some more. Some more, right? In addition to this, file has some more attributes. So basically it has like basic security attributes, created date, modified date, access dates, read-only status, hidden status, right? Those are also there into file. Folder is organization unit which can be used to group the files and other folders, files and other folders based on a user-defined or OS-defined criteria. User-defined or right. Files and folders are organized into drives. A drive can be a partition, or external, internal storage media. Each drive has a specific file registering mechanism. Specific file registering mechanism. A simple mechanism example is FAT or file allocation table. It stores file information and attributes. File information and attributes with the physical file location. So let's discuss, right? Let's discuss what are they. First of all, I would like to give the note, and then so this is like a brief. This is not well explained one. This is a brief. This is a summary. And if you have space, I couldn't mention, I'm sorry for that. And here actually some more within bracket, you can write some more means file size on this, etc. Right? You have some more details like that.
Yeah.
File size on this. Okay, so this file allocation table is basically storing information about the file. And with the physical file location. Physical file location means where it is residing in the hard disk or in CD or DVD, which track, which record. So likewise, which cluster. So it stores the physical location of the file. Right. In initial deletion, file record will be deleted from the file registration table. But data related to the actual file remains in the physical location until a permanent file packing or cleaning arrangement or replacing, or until it is replaced by some other file, until it is replaced by some other file. So this part is actually not there in the book directly. You don't have this in the syllabus, but so why I'm telling, because so you should know the theory as well as the practical. What really happens? Theory says there's a file allocation table. It stores the attribute, it registers. Practical says, so actual deletion, when in the deletion, basically the record is deleted from the FAT or this file allocation table, but not actual from the physical location. Physical location, the arrangement is still there. So we learned how arrangement happens, right? In hardware lesson, in the hard disk, we learned how this arrangement happens. So basically hard disk is a magnetic device. So this magnetism change or the north-south node change happen in the platter of the hard disk. That is what happening. So whatever happened in the hard disk, even after deletion, it remains. So let's say you are using a rewritable disk, rewritable CD or DVD. So pit land arrangement in the rewritable DVD or CD remains even after the deletion from the file table. But when the next replacement comes, or when the next arrangement comes, then only it is actually changed. Did you understand this concept or not?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you know how hard disk works. This is not operating system related, but it's related to hardware part. But you can just refer to this. I'll show this using small animation. And let's, okay, here you can see this animation shows how your hard disk works, right? It has this is called actuator, and you have these read-write heads in each actuator to read-write both sides of these platters. Spindle is rotating these platters, and this is like you know that so some cartoons I have seen a bird reading like a plate, so similar to gramophone reading, right?
Yeah.
So using its mouth, and so you can just see like something like that. So anyway, so this is going back and forth, right? Going forward and backward, and this is rotating, so it can access every place in the hard disk. Similar time, so it has 4 platters, means 1, 2, 3, 4 platters, means it should have 8 heads. 8 heads, because both sides can be used to read in and write it. And so this is the actuator, and information come to the actuator, and it will be sent to the head, and head will magnetize the hard platters according to the instructions given by the instruction sent to the head, right? So then so see in the second one, this is how it happens when your head moves, and this is the magnetizing part, right? This is the magnetizing happen in the head. So here it has a permanent magnet. Using this permanent magnet, it transfers here. There's a permanent magnet. So if you remove the top cover of the hard disk, you can find this permanent magnet. It's a very powerful one. But if the hard disk is working one, don't remove. Then after that, your hard disk won't work, right? Because hard disks cannot be assembled back in the normal environment, because it is like sealed. That sealed one you can reassemble after disassembly, right? Because inside also there's a neutral gas or no gas at all. So once seal broken, so this gas will be like ionized gas will come into the hard disk. So whatever the ionized gas, what it does, basically it can even affect the surfaces and platters and erase the data. Therefore, so after that, it's not going to work. Anyway, this magnetism change happens in the hard disk head. So when there's a head change in the head, that change will be written to the platters. So here, see this north-south and south-north represented. So this is red is south, no? Blue is north, correct?
Yeah.
But I cannot remember the stuff that I learned in science. This is I learned in O levels, so I can remember. Anyway, forget about that. I think this is south, north, and north, south. So just think like that. Oh, south, north, north, south, south, north, north, south, whatever. Right? So this head can actually magnetize the platter. So this is what happened inside the hard disk, but this complex process is hidden by a fellow called operating system. So that's what we are learning now, right? This complex process is not visible. This is actually how you save a file in the hard disk. But can you see this?
No.
Hello, can you see this process?
No.
Because it is hidden. So that's why we learned that internal hardware complexity is hidden by the operating system. That's a major point regarding operating system. Operating system is a middleman which hides the internal complexity of the hard disk. We learned that, right? Okay, so then with that, keeping that in the mind, so please, so here these are the 8 platters that we have, like multi-platter writing process. And so this spindle is rotating and writing to the multiple platters. And here, so while this spindle is rotating the hard disk, it's going back and forth and writing this data. Okay, so whatever happened, this physically in the hard disk is not going to be altered when you delete a file. What will happen? Initial deletion. Yes? Yes. Come on.
The opposite.
Right, in initial deletion, right? In initial deletion, so it will only delete the record in the file allocation table, not the physical changes in, it will not override the physical changes in the hard disk. Table එකේ තියෙන value එක මකනවා. Registry එක දැන් register කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඔයා මොකක් හරි course එකකට so that registration institute can the registration institute kill you, or can they kill the registration record?
Registration record.
They can't kill you, no. So physically they can't kill you. What they can do is they can kill the record in their database. That's what this OS does. In the initial deletion, it's not going to kill the hard disk. It's not going to wipe out the hard disk. It's going to wipe out the registration record. Then the next time when you search, you cannot find the file. But it is actually there in the hard disk. That's why when you use the recover software, it's recovering these files back. Understood?
So then that storage is unlimited.
I cannot hear you properly. Can you speak a little louder?
Then that storage is unlimited.
Then
is that storage unlimited?
Kind of.
Oh.
Because kind of, but only until the replacement, right? So if it is replaced, by some other file, then what will happen? Then you will lose the recovering feature because the file is already changed.
Oh.
Right? File is already changed. So that space in the hard disk is actually the space in the hard disk means the space shown in the partition table or the file allocation table. So, okay, you register for a seminar. Let's say a seminar is allowed for 100 people and already 96 registered. Now the receptionist will tell, we have 4 seats remaining. That is based on the registration table.
Oh.
But actually, all seats are remaining. All seats are remaining. All 100 seats are remaining. Because let's say all 96 decided to not to come. Then actually, all 100 seats are available. But referring to the registration table, they are telling only 4 seats remaining. Right? So that is the story. Right? That's why you need to clean the hard disk. That's why you need to defragment the hard disk, file packing. All these are needed to find the actual remaining space. Because file allocation table might be wrong. Or can be duplicate registrations. So, but it will be avoided anyway. So fake registrations, unwanted, so maybe, so virus can take the space of FAT. So likewise, we don't know the actual space is taken by the hard disk. What you can do, we can reevaluate. File defragment means you keep the real files into one corner and empty space into one corner. Then you can find how many seats remain. Then it will be faster. Defragment. File packing means you try to pack the files as much as possible, removing the internal or the gaps spaces in the middle. So similar to a conductor trying to pack conductor trying to pack people into a private bus, right? So if there's a space, unwanted space between two parties, he's trying his maximum to remove that space and pack another file into that. So that is something file packing. File packing also can be done. So after packing, after file packing, after file defragmenting, so then you can find the some actually that is also based on the registration table. So when you delete a file, it's not actually deleting, right? When you delete a file, it's not actually deleting. Only thing is the location of the pointer will be removed.
Even on computer.
Sorry?
Even in computers,
Even in?
Computer.
Yes. So it does, it's not deleting. So some people will think, okay, I have taken some photos, now I'll delete. Now no photos in my device. And they are selling the storage or maybe a mobile phone or their memory card to someone. But so simple thing, if the new person can do small recovery, he can find a lot of deleted files. I cannot guarantee 100%. Sorry?
If they hard formatted it, hard reset.
Formatting also will not remove that. Formatting will erase the file allocation table fully. And saying that you have space. Right? Formatting will fully delete the file allocation table and tell that the hard disk is free now. So that doesn't delete, that doesn't physically rearrange the file magnetizing. Right? But if you replace with, so if you replace with some files, fully replace, so then so that file status or the file patterns will be changed and you will not be able to recover much, but still you can recover some, right? Not everything, but parts here and there you will be able to recover. And so for an example, if you recover 8 GB hard disk, 8 GB pen drive, you can get around like 30 GB, 40 GB data sometimes.
Wow.
Right? So you recover in 8 GB pen drive, but you are getting more data, but actually, actual amount is 8 GB. Some files only parts, right? So part is readable, the other part is not readable likewise. So you can't store more than 8 GB in 8 GB. Otherwise, like you store files, delete and store again. Now you have both files. No, it's not like that. So actual amount of data you'll get in will be 8 GB. But so some, in recovery, some files try to reconstruct. Right? Reconstruct them. So for an example, a video file. Let's say some seconds are missing, but it will rearrange. It will rearrange by ignoring those frames, right? So that can happen.
How to get rid of that data permanently?
Sorry?
How to get rid of that data permanently?
Yeah, so you have so some software for wiping. So these are like so these are utility software, right? Here, so if you just Google wiping hard disk, let's say permanently. Right, wipe in hard drive permanently, and so here you can see permanent erase. Right, so cannot be recovered. Here you can see. Right, there are some software you can erase. This is not formatting, right? Then these are some here. So you can just read out this. Like there are some software here. Removing everything. This is by the Windows features. Just remove my files, remove and clean the drive. So this is okay, but it will also recover. You have something called kill disk. Right? Kill disk, and this is like disk genius. Erase sectors. You can sector by sector erase. So this is another thing. Sector by sector erase. Right? Sector by sector erase. It will clean up all the sectors and reset to one status. North south or south north. Then also, but you cannot guarantee that, right? Some files might have like only NS. Then if this is reset to NS, so that files can be recovered, right? Understood? Ek status set karane. So here, so you show that a file have two status. File has two status, north south or south north. So can you tell me the way of erasing? Either you can set everything to south north, or either you can set everything to north south, or you can invert south north north south to south north. What is the mechanism of erasing? Can we remove all the north south and south norths? No, either there will be south north or north south.
Yeah.
Right. So due to that, right, but there are tools. So these tools are resetting this disk like different cycles, resetting sector by sector. So and trying to make it complex to recover. Understood? Trying to make it very complex to recover. Then the recovered files won't help. So that can be done.
Yeah.
Right, that can be done, but 100% permanent deletion, you need to actually destroy the hard disk. Destroy the hard. Yeah,
we can't use it.
Yeah, we have to do that. So there are organizations doing that, right? There are organizations, if there are more sensitive data, so they are physically destroying the hard disk, right? Because the logical rearrangement of these sectors, right, cannot exactly guarantee that there will be no mechanism to reset that to the previous status. For some files, yes, but for some files it might not. So they are physically destroying the hard disk. But software, if you browse in the internet, there are like here, this is one software, this genius, it's giving erasing sector feature. So erasing sector will basically, here you can say fill sectors. Here you can see fill sectors with. So what you can fill? Then monkey you can fill the sectors with 0, 0. That means north south, let's say north south, or 1, 1. Let's say south north, or random data. So what is the best? Random data.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's replacing with some bogus data. Those bogus data is not going to help after recovery. Garbages. Understood?
Yeah.
Right? So this is the actual situation of your hard disk. That's right. So you have 0, 0 option and FF option. But sometimes some portions of the some files might have FF. Some portions of the files might have that portions will be recovered. To stop that, actually you have to randomize. But even after randomize, some portions might match some files, right? Cannot, it's luck by chance. Cannot exactly. So therefore, physically companies having sensitive data, they are trying to physically destroy the devices. rather than erasing and so erasing. If you are the person reusing, then it's okay. You can do anything. But if you are like renting out or giving it away, then you have to think about permanent erasing, right? Okay, so then it's similar to the networking. In networking, we say the highest secured network computer is the computer which is disconnected. But that computer is not in network anymore. Understood? The highest secure computer in a network is the computer which is disconnected and power off. But that computer is not usable. Right? So it is secure. Yes, it is secure. It is turned off, disconnected. But the thing is, it's not usable. Right? So that is the secure, that is there in security. Okay, so here, so this is too advanced, right? Like it's in A levels, you don't have up to this level, just have the surface knowledge of the theory. So that's all. But if you know this, then you will understand. You will actually. So when there's a question, you can just write using your common sense. So that is the idea. Otherwise, you have to by heart and go to the exam and write the exam. That's it. Okay, then so file arrangement. Files are arranged into folders. Folders and files are arranged into drives, and drives are arranged to the disks. Right. Disk is physical storage unit. Disk is physical storage unit, which can be partitioned and store the files. Disk we have one or more partitions. Disk will have one or more partitions with a file registering system. So that file registering system can be example. This file registering systems can be CDFS, NTFS, FAT16, FAT32, EXT, EXT3, EXT2, EXT3, EXT4, exFAT. So these are the possibilities. There are more, right? There are more file registration systems, but these are some common. So this EXT is used in Linux. CDFS is in CDs. NTFS, new technology file system in Windows. FAT16, FAT32, extended FAT. So basically Windows, Mac, anyone can use this. There is more common, but FAT is now, it's not used. So because with the new technology file system, NTFS, new technology file system was FAT, file allocation table. FAT is simple and take less space. NTFS is advanced and taking more space as it needs, as it has security related data. That is the picture, that is the idea about these file systems. Please write down up to now. And now let's discuss about how this happens. Let's see how this happens in your computer. So what are the files? What are the folders? Disks, right? So what about shortcut? Shortcut, is it a file or folder or something else?
It's the lower version, like less space of the original file.
It's also a file. Yeah, it's also a file. Shortcut is also a
Compressed file.
Yeah, it's a file. It's not compressed. It's like a linking file. That file is linking to some other file. This is also a file. So it doesn't store data, but it stores information about some other file.
Or the location of the.
Yeah, location and the type and all these things. Information will be stored there. Okay, so now finished?
No, 1 minute. Fact 16.
Okay. Right. So first of all, let's see how these files and folders looks like. So to do that, actually, you can go to the Explorer, Windows key and E key. Oh yes, you can click that also. So clicking this icon is also okay. And now you are in the Explorer. So just go to the OS C. And here, so first of all, let me tell. Okay, go back, please. And here you can see these are the drives: C drive, D drive, and E drive. This drive can be a single disk, or so this set of drives maybe belong to a single disk. So E is here removable. This is actually a CD or DVD drive. So it is so if you put a DVD or CD, then it will be mounted to this drive, E drive. If you put DVD or CD, then C and D can be two separate disks or one disk, two separate disks or one disk. So I believe that this is only one disk, right? Let's see this further, and let's go into the drive now. Let's go into the drive. So please go inside this drive, and then you can see there are some folders and files. These folders and files, basically, if you want to see the file extension, you can go to the view tab, and then view tab, you have this file name extension. You can tick that. Just ticking that will display this. Here you can see install.log. Log is the extension for this install file. So this is a text document. This is a file folder. File folder. This is a text document. So by just looking at the folder, you cannot tell whether that has a file or folder. Or by just looking at the icon, you cannot tell that. Okay, for an example, right, can you do something like this? Let's create. Okay, so let's create something like this. Can you right click there? Right click, new. Okay, only get in folder, right? Right, okay, forget it. I'll explain that later. Right, okay, so can you create a create a folder, right click, new folder, and please go inside that folder. Right now, right click, new, and you can see then some files are appearing. Can you create a text document? TXT text document. Okay, oh, docx is okay. So any kind of document. So let's rename these files by changing the extension part. Now you can see file name, and this is file name, new text document. TXT is the extension. I want you to change the extension TXT, and so let's take some copies. Take a copy of that and change this to PPTX, POT, DOCX, and then HTML, EXE, PDF, MP3, MOV, MP4. So let's change to these extensions. Only the extension, right? Don't change the file name. Keep the file name as it is and change the extension. Put a dot and type any extension of this. So yes, do it quickly. Okay, yes. Now you can see when you change the extension, so take a copy of that and quickly take a copy of first file. Yes, quickly rename that to the next extension. But don't change the name, only change the extension. While changing the extension, you can see it's affecting the file icon and also the file type. And also the default program which is going to open the file will be different. Default program which is going to open the file will be a different one. So put in HTML, will instruct the browser to open that. Put in, so can you put PPTX, which is PowerPoint. It will instruct the PowerPoint to open the file, right? EXE. Okay, you can see it's executable now. Application. DOCX, it's a word. Okay. Can you change it to LNK? .lnk. Right. Okay, after changing to LNK, so specialty is you cannot see the extension. Can you see the extension now? No. But it will become a shortcut. That's why I said shortcut is also a file which is having extension. Yes, it's a shortcut which having the extension. You can see within bracket type of file is LNK. But the thing is you cannot see the LNK extension. Right? You cannot see the LNK extension. Then how can you rename that back? Okay, assume that a virus came and rename your all files. It has changed the extension to LNK. Or let's create such virus, not virus, such program. Just double click on the text document. Last one. Okay, type this command. You can type this command. REN asterisk dot asterisk space asterisk dot LNK. Asterisk dot asterisk, then space asterisk dot LNK. Space asterisk dot LNK. File save as. Now you save the file save as. Let's say hello.bat. Hello.bat. And save as type all files. Save as type all files done. BAT. Hello.bat. Save as type all files or save. Okay, save it. Okay, done. Close the file and double click on the bat file. Okay, you can see now, right? So almost all files. So why some files are not changed? Because having the same name, right? So if you change the names, can you change the names of these files? Can you change the name, rename 1, 2, 3, 4 කියලා දාන්න නම් 4. Oh, don't double click. Just press F2, simple thing. Press F2 and yes, F2 and another name. F2. Okay, otherwise it will take more time to rename. Where's your bat file? I think that is also renamed, right? Yeah, that is also renamed. Right, okay. So now you have to double click the text file again and create another bat file. No, the double clicking that won't help. Double click and see. Because there's a shortcut. I don't know whether it's.
Nope.
It's not running, no?
No.
Yeah, just go to the text document. New text document. Just, yeah. And that is also, okay. Again, type the same command. REN, okay, asterisk dot asterisk, space, asterisk dot LNK. Okay, a virus can simply execute this command, LNK. Space diyanne epa. Asterisk eකට පස්සේ space එකක් තිබ්බා. Dot එකට පස්සේ. Remove that space. Yes, that one remove. Okay. Save as any name.bat. Kamathi nama. .bat. Save as type. All text done. Save as type. Command. Okay, double tick in there. So you can see all the files are now, right? What has happened to all the files now shortcuts, right? If you get this kind of attack from a virus, very simple code. So what's your solution?
You.
Yes?
You.
What?
You're my solution.
I cannot understand. So can you repeat?
You're my solution.
You have to tell me, but so that won't help, right? Because you don't know the existing file. You have to remember the fast file type. Otherwise, how can you rename? So for this, you can press Control Z, because you have done this. Undo, and it might work, right? Yes, the file is no longer there. Okay, try again. Just try again. So okay. Now this is a bit tricky, right? Now this is a bit tricky because all the files it has renamed. So this is a dangerous one. Then if you remember the extension, you can rename that back. Yes, that is possible. You can press shift. While pressing the shift, can you right click there? All right, now you can see open PowerShell window here in this menu, right? So you can go and type there. You can type let it load. Okay, now type dir. Now at least you can see, press enter, and you can see the files with the extensions. Press enter. Right now you can see these files are having extension. Now if you know the 2 is, let's say 2 is a doc file, you remember it. So you can type ren, ren space 2.lnk 2.lnk 2.lnk. So this is .lnk. 2.lnk. The file name space. If you remember the previous name, let's say you remember this file is surely a Word file, then you can rename as 2.docx. 2.docx, right? Yeah, 2.docx. Press enter, and that will press enter. Now you can see, just keep it below the window, just drag it. And now you can see so at least you can rename back, but you have to remember the names, right? Otherwise, remember the type, previous type, because regardless of the type, it has changed. If you remember the previous type, you can revert back. Otherwise, yeah, you're helpless. Because you didn't.
This, right?
Sorry?
Only inside this, right? Everything.
Yeah, it's only applying this, but so you can write a different command to apply this to entire disk.
No.
If you want, you can try that command. So that can be applied to the entire disk, and you will end up with right, losing your data if you cannot remember the previous extensions. So that is the thing. Anyway, so what I wanted to show, this shortcut is also a file, but some students, even university students, are there who don't know these things, fundamentals, right? Okay, so then you can rename back and get the file, recover the file, so manually. So that is the method. Or you can use a recovery software to automatically, that software will try to recover by reading the blocks and the instructions. That is another thing. Or if you have set a system restore point, there's something called system restore point.
Yeah.
You can set it in the operating system. So if something dangerous happens, you can restore back to the previous status. So that is another way of doing that. Actually, this is applying by a virus called a cryptovirus. It's not changing the extension. Instead of, it's locking all the files like this. Not similar to this code, but there's a different code. So it's encrypting all the files in your disk. So when you double click on the file, it says that your file is locked by us. You need to pay this amount of money to get the original file back. That is a crypto virus. So then again, so students are asking, so is there any solution? Any solution to do this? So only solution is backup of a system restore point. Or so paying is also not solution, because we don't know after paying whether they give the files or not. We don't, right? Only thing is you can get the copy or the recovered copy. So one thing, another thing is use the backup, and you can format the disk and restate to the previous status, and stop inviting crypto viruses thereafter. Because normally I see a lot of people are inviting viruses, right? Viruses are not coming by their own, they are inviting. So how? They are trying to download illegitimate software and illegitimate, right? They are trying to download from so fake sites. They are clicking on the links, expecting to have some free GBs or expecting to have some, right? Yes, always these spamming links are there, right? So expecting to get a KFC offer, likewise, Nike offer, whatever. So ultimately end up with anniversaries, all these things ultimately end up with infecting a virus. So cannot help after that, right? So this is done by some viruses, right? I have seen, but these viruses are good, right? Some so viruses are not this much bad. මේ shortcut virus එකත් එච්චර bad නැහැ. හේතුව ඒ shortcut virus එක, so I have seen the shortcut virus. That shortcut virus is creating a shortcut. For an example, this doc file will be 2.lnk. But the better part of this virus is that virus is hiding the original file and creating a fake file. Okay. So something like this. Can you close this? Just close this. Okay. Okay. Now right click on the 2.docx. 2.docx. Right click. Go to the properties, and you can see the properties that we discussed. For an example, here size on disk, created date, modified date, access date, the location of the file type. Right. So can you hide this? Just hide this. Yeah, click the hidden. Click it again and apply and okay. So this is what virus is doing, right? It's hiding the original file. Okay, close it. Now, so can you rename the rename any file? This 5 can you rename as 2? 2 with it rename karana. Right click and rename. No, not that one. This 5. 2. Okay. Oh, that is also okay, right? Keep the name. Okay. So what this virus does? Can you right click on the 2.docx file? Properties. And then change icon. Change icon. You had that. Yes, in the shortcut you can see change icon. Give word icon to that. Please give the word icon to that. Word icon එක දෙන්න එකට. Word icon එක ඔතන නැහැ. Browse, go to the browse. Yeah. Then go to C drive. Yeah, in C drive program files. Inside that you have program files. Okay, just go inside that program files folder. MS Office, Office 12. Okay, yeah, go inside. No, I think it's not inside. Yeah, go back to the program files x86. See, you have program files x86. Yeah, there can you see Office, Microsoft Office. Yeah, Office 15, I think it's the version, no? Seems Office 15 is your version. Yeah, just go bottom. No, still not. Can you go up? again. Let's office, go to the office. Just office here. No. Office 12. No. Oh. I think it's the folder. Yes. Yeah. Can you see winword.exe? There you saw the file. Winword.exe. Winword.exe. You can click on any type, any file. Onam file like right. Okay. I found it. Then open that. Just open that. And now you can see the word icons. That is not a good icon. Go to the change icon again. That seems fake. The second one in the second row, first one. Yeah. That seems the icon. Okay. Okay. Click OK and apply and OK. Oh, this is what virus is doing, right? So virus is so genuine, right? It basically hiding the original file, right? Hiding the original file and creating a fake file.
Yeah.
Can you just show large icons? Large icons. Here. So you have that. Okay. Right. Okay. So something like this. Again, click on the hidden icons, hidden items. Right now you can see the file is there. Right? File is there. And instead of this original file, it's creating a fake file, 2.docx, and it's a shortcut. So actually the virus is nice guy, right? So it's genuine. But our people are not. So what they are doing, they think that my pen drive is infected with the virus and they will format the drive. What will happen after that?
All data will go.
You will lose the file, original file, as well as the virus file. So that is the issue, right? So ඒ වගේ දේවල් වෙනවා. ඒතර original එකත් මකලා virus එකත් මකනවා. So then the thing is that you by yourself you are deleting the virus is not actually liable to delete. It's not liable for deletion. You are the person liable for deletion. Okay, the thing is, so again shift and right click. Again shift and right click in the empty place and go to the PowerShell. Yeah. And now do something like this. ATTRIB, please type this command. ATTRIB, then plus S, plus H, plus R, 2.docx. So this command, right? I think you can see in the screen.
Should I use space?
Yeah, space is must. After attrib you have space. No, not the mouse. Use the keyboard. Use the keyboard. Oh, use the keyboard and move further. Yeah, keep space there. Space. Plus S space. Plus H space. Plus R space. Oh, not that. Previous one is correct. After that, after R also space. After R. Oh, not that. Okay, correct. Now press enter. Okay, so now can you go to the hidden items and untick that? And tick that again. Tick that again. Can you see the file?
No.
So this is what virus doing, right? So normally under hidden items, it is not listed. So it is listed under system items. To show the system items, you can go to the options. Options. Yeah, over there. And there are file and search options. Yes, change file and search options. That one. Go to the view. View. Just scroll down a little. You can see it, right? You can see it. Hide protected operating system files. Sorry, hide protected operating system file. Untick that. Untick that, yes. And apply, and okay. Now only you can see that file, right? This is what virus is actually doing. Virus is not just hiding, it's making us a system file. Then what will happen? Then under normal circumstances, users cannot see that. right? I had to argue in sometimes with some people. I don't know. So one time we wanted to play national anthem and we put national anthem into the pen drive, and I gave it to a person. So he's playing music and I gave it to him. After that, he was telling, no, national anthem is not there. So I said that, yes, it was there. Can you check? So he said not there. So then I checked with his computer, there are viruses. When I said there's a virus in your computer, he said that no, I have antivirus. So that antivirus is like 5 years old antivirus program. Right? Then I said that file is hidden. Right? Then he saw no hidden items. I tried to hidden. It's not there. So I stopped arguing because no point of telling that person. So it's a system file, because if I try to tell this, go and find out in the system file, the next thing I know, he will also delete all the system files next time, right? Because some system files are there. For an example, go to the options. In operating system, we have paging. No, now actually you have shown the system files. Now can you go to the C drive? I think you can remember how many files were there in C drive. Now you can see how many files are there. Right? What will happen, guys, if I explain this guy to get to system files, next time he will say, I got a lot of viruses, thank you to you, and I have erased all the viruses, now my computer is not working. Right? These are the viruses that he has erased, right? Okay, so but these are system files. This is very important system file. You can see page file.sys. So that is the virtual memory of your computer. We learned in this chapter, page file.sys is the virtual memory. It is the largest file. So it's 10 GB. You can free 10 GB space by deleting this file, but don't do it. But that is your virtual memory, right? After deleting. So what will happen to your virtual memory? Anyhow, you can delete. You can make it like unsystem. So untick the system icon and unhide the file and finally delete. So that is the largest file. That is the page file, right? Okay, so it won't. So you won't be given a chance to delete that as system file. But you can. delete karna in Linux wale boot karla. They are booting the computer which is using Linux, because Windows won't allow to delete this file. But what our people are doing, they are trying to boot using Linux and then load the file and delete it. The Linux won't. The Linux will delete. So next time you can't turn on the computer because you have deleted all these boot managers and swap files. Swap file is basically to the memory. Again, page file and hiber files if you have hibernate file. So those files are very important, right? So these are the boot programs. Okay. Right. So now you know about how this file arrangement happens, what are the hidden files and what are the normal files, what are the shortcuts. I think you have a clear knowledge about that. And the next is storage media, how this partitioning happens and how this file storage happens and all. So that also I must explain. And can you go to this PC, right click on this PC, just right click on this PC. Yeah, you can close the PowerShells. Right, go to the Explorer. Yes, in the Explorer, you can see this PC in this side here. Just right click and click manage. No, not the properties. Right click and click manage.
Yeah.
And then go to the disk management. Then go to the disk management. There you can see this, right? This disk 0, physically one disk. But how many partitions are there? This is the second time I'm seeing this in a person's computer. I don't know. So you are also having the same issue, right? Okay. So how many partitions are there in this disk?
3.
Sorry.
No, 2.
Yeah, you have C drive, 2 visible partitions and 2 invisible partitions. So out of these invisible partitions, hello.
Yeah,
Sorry.
hello.
What has happened?
No, the sharing went.
Right. Okay. So 2 visible partitions, C and D, 2 invisible partitions. This one and this one. So out of this is actually to the recovery partition. This is for the recovery, health and recovery partition. And this is also for the file system, to store file system. You have this partition to store file system, this partition to the recovery, right? So this is how the partition allocation happens. And disk, this is the second, this is first disk, and you have 2 disks, but this disk is not mounted, CD is not mounted. And okay, so if you need further partitions, so how to create another partition? Now your disk is already partitioned. Yeah, you have shrink volume. Yes, you have shrink volume. You can use the shrink volume. And my recommendation is when you are shrinking, shrink from D, because C is basically for the operating system. You can shrink from the D, right, and create a new partition by shrinking it. Right, and you can see the file systems of these partitions, NTFS, new technology file system. So can we shrink another new partition from D? Okay, just wait, let's wait. Because you tried from the OS and it's taking some response time, just cancel out and try to shrink from D with this. Shrinking won't delete your data, right? That is for sure. Shrinking won't delete because it used the unused area. And just let's use a small partition like 100, okay, 10,000 MB, 10,000 MB, very small one. Okay, shrink. Okay, now you have a small partition. It's only 10 GB. Just right click there and new simple volume. Yes. So let's format this simple volume. Go to the next. Next. Yes. Okay. You can give any letter to mount it. Okay. Then go next. And here don't give NTFS. Just try to see whether right, FAT30. Yes. My recommendation is FAT30 because we want to study different file systems. Okay. Now finish. Next and finish. Right, now you have a new volume. That new volume is going to be mounted as A drive. Okay, great. Right, that is A drive. But so normally we are not giving A to respect the adults, right? Because A was reserved for floppy disk. Okay. AB was initially given for the floppy disk. So we respect our predecessors. So still we are not using that A and B, but anyway, you can use. That doesn't matter, right? Because A is typically used for floppy disk, and B is also. You can later change the letter. Right? You can change the letter and give any other letter. Click change, and so here click change and give them. Okay, so then right now it's K. Right, I just want to create a file in K. Can you go inside K drive and create a file? Right click new file. Right click new text file. Text file. And also create a copy of that. Copy and paste. I just want to show some other theory also. Just double click on one file, one of these files. Just double click on one and type 10 characters. You can type 0 to 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 0 at the end. 0 to the end. Okay. So now you have 10 characters. Let's save it. Just save. Save. Okay. Can you right click and see the properties of this file? Right click, properties. You can see file is 10 bytes and size on disk is 8 KB. Size is 10 bytes. Size on disk is 8 KB. What is that? 10 bytes means you have 10 characters, right? 8 KB is the size on disk. Can you remember when we format this drive, Can you go to right click this drive again, K drive? In the left side, you can go up to the left side and right click on the drive. Drive, go to right click, just go to the left side, yeah. Then go to format. Okay, now can you see this? This one, allocation unit size. Yes, you can change it, right? You can change it. It's like bucket, the given buckets, as well as, right? It's like given bucket and the liquid, or the thing that you are going to put. You have here 10 bytes. 10 byte, but your bucket size is 8 KB. That's how you have formatted, right? If this bucket has, like, let's say if this bucket has tea, this is one file. If second bucket has coffee, so let's say, let's go to the second file now, close this file, go to the second file. And again type like now 20 characters. Type 10 characters, copy and paste. If you are going to the next line, it will add 2 more characters, right? Because enter character is counted as 2 more characters. Okay, you can see that that is also okay. Come on, enter character, enter character character dekak. New line. Now you will have 22 bytes size. Yes. You have different sizes here, 1 KB. Metana 1 KB kila pennana. Metana na harigana pennana. Metana thai cup pennana. Metana thai cup pennana. 80 KB. Right. So it is 22 bytes, right? Now it's 22 bytes. It has more now. 58 bytes. Okay, so number of characters and the number of new lines, it will be counted there. Okay, so just close it. So what is the size on disk for this? What is the size on disk for this? Again, 8, right? So I said about tea and coffee. You have tea and coffee. This is tea, this is coffee. Now 2 separate files. Both files are taking 8 KB. That is a waste, right? That is a waste. Yeah. But if you are going to like make it too small, so that will slow down your computer. Why? What's the reason? It's like you are given a small cylinder or a small beaker to empty a barrel. Right? When you are moving files from this to pen drive, it's like you are using a small beaker to move water from one barrel to another barrel. That will definitely slow down because you have a beaker. When it is too small, when it is too large, it's like you have a barrel and you have another barrel to like transport water to the next barrel. Then that will be faster. But so let's say you have a small amount of water, then that is a utter waste. Right? You have to balance in between the wastage and the speed. Right? 8 is a considerable amount, but you know this cameras, digital cameras, they are using some larger sizes, right? Yeah. Because digital camera need to save large image instantly. So these high-speed digital camera memory cards are using 32 KB. Sorry, 32 KB. Yes, 30, like, yes, very large. 32, even not MB.
GB also.
Yeah. So that is the full size. That is the full size of card. This cluster size can be 64 KB. Cluster.
The transfer speed, right?
Yeah. Cluster size can be 64 KB, 128 KB, large clusters. Because the need to translate faster, right? But in hard disk, 8 KB is acceptable. So, but this high-speed memory card has more cluster sizes. Understood what cluster and cluster size is?
Yeah.
Cluster is the minimum allocation unit in the hard disk. Okay, then next thing that I want to show, archiving. Can you select both files? Right click and send to. send to. Yes, there you can see zip, compress zip folder. Can you select that? Okay, now you have to create single file using that. 2 files. Can you right click and see the size of this?
298.
Yeah, it's only it's 298 bytes. It's larger, but size on disk is only 8,
Yes.
right? So instead of 16, so previously it was 16 for 2 files. You had to allocate 16. Now you can delete those 2 files. That doesn't matter. You can delete those, and after deleting, you have the zip file. Inside the zip file, inside the zip file, you have both files. You can right click and open. Yeah, you have both files. So this is what computer is normally doing. It archives the file. This is file packing, archiving, right? So you keep the file inside another file, inside a zip folder, zip file. That is for archiving, right? Understood what is archiving is? Basically inside exe also, exe එකක් ඇතුළෙත් ඔය වගේ archive එකක් තියෙනවා. That's why we took that icon from the winword.exe. Inside that also there are some more files. That icon file is inside the winword file. But earlier days we had a hobby. We wanted to see what is inside every file. So the system.dll, all files we re-archived and see what kind of stuff are there. So that was interesting, right? The windows, surfaces, interfaces, icons, graphics, those were there inside that file. So there are like 7-zip can also do that. There are some other program called Resource Hacker. That Resource Hacker also can extract the files and see what is inside there. There is another software that you can use. Okay. Now you know what is archiving is and why this archiving is useful, because it can save the space. It can merge, it can zip many files together, and it can save the space. Okay, that is about archiving. And another thing is, can you extract the files again? Extract. Yeah. Now you can see both files inside the folder. Just go inside. Okay, right click and see the properties again. See the properties of yeah, you can see 32 bytes for the both files and 16 KB is taken from the disk because it is unarchived. And right, go again and see the properties of individual file. I would like to highlight one thing. Properties of individual file. Go inside XYZ ඇතුළට ගිහිල්ලා එක file එකක් ඇතුළ උඩ බලන්න. ඒකේ properties වල. Just see the properties of that file, right? Okay, it's only like you can see it's okay. Keep the it's 10 bytes. Okay, 10 bytes, 8 KB. So please note these things. I really need to note general details, previous version. General details, previous versions. Okay, you have those attributes. Can you copy these 2 files and move to D? Copy both files and move to D. Copy and move to D drive. And yeah, inside any folder you can paste. Can you see the properties again of each?
0.
Yeah, is there any notable change?
Location, size on disk.
Yeah, size on disk will be on. It will be registered. Then my Windows disk. Yeah, NTFS has a feature that is security. The very important thing that is security, because you are moving to an NTFS disk. It has security feature. That is one thing. Size on disk, don't think much about that, because when a file is getting larger, it will allocate same. Can you make it larger, little larger? By copying and pasting the same stuff again and again. Make the file larger. It's only not, it's like not showing there. Again, copy and paste everything. Control A. Now Control A to select all. Control A, Control V, Control again, Control A, Control C, Control VV. Likewise, draw the file. Okay, I think now it's enough. Like, let's try. Save it.
Oh, it is not.
Save it and see. The file is too large now. All right, now you can see it's file size on disk. So it's too large, right? So don't paste that much. Okay. Can you reduce the size? Otherwise, we can't calculate that size.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just release Control A, right? Only one time. Okay, now you can see it's still large, but anyway, so it's still large, cannot calculate that side. Make it like around 2000 characters. 2000 characters. Okay, Control A. I'll tell you easy method. Control A. Delete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, copy this. Paste this several times. You can see here. We have okay enough. Now copy this again. Okay, I think now it's enough. Save the file and see. Save the file and see. Now you can see. Right click and properties. Go to the properties. Right now you can see that here 4 KB is the cluster size. That is the formatted way, right? You have formatted that as a 4 KB cluster drive. You can see that right click format, go to the D, right click format, but don't format it. Right click on D and go to format here. Right click on D drive and go to format.
Okay.
Right now you can see, yes, 4096. There are some other sizes available, but no need to format. Don't format, right? Just keep. Okay, so now you saw how this when you transfer this FAT to NTFS, you will get the security feature. Again, if you transfer from NTFS to FAT, it will remove security feature because FAT doesn't support security. NTFS supports security. Right? You understood what is security. Right, under security, what you can do? So just analyze this further. Under security, what you can do? Go to the properties and security. And can you edit this? Can you edit the security privileges? Yes. And you can say yes, deny everything. Just deny everything and apply. And yes, okay, okay, okay. And try to open the file and it says it's denied. Right? Likewise, you can, yes, you can change the privileges, what can do, what can be done, what cannot be done. So maybe you can edit the file, maybe you can read the file but cannot edit. Likewise, you can change the privileges. Read the file but cannot edit. Likewise, you can change the privileges. Okay, so you can apply different privileges to this one. That is under NTFS security. Okay, now we learn about many things which we have written in our note. Basically, we learn about file types, folder and drive based organization, partitions, and file allocation table, registration table, NTFS, FAT, and the security related data in NTFS. Right. The next thing is the next thing listed here Okay, we learn about these, we learn about these, we learn about passwords, access privileges. Passwords is basically a simple thing. So,
Sir, should I delete that from your folder?
yeah. And file management. So the storage allocation, contiguous allocation, linked allocation, and indexed allocation. Linked allocation actually, so contiguous allocation means you saw the disk, this part, and if you are allocating spaces, so this is your disk platter. The platter is then divided to something called this. These are the tracks inside the platter. These tracks are then divided vertically like this. Then these, okay, let's take this one unit. If you take this one unit, we call this a sector. When we format, we can decide how many sectors to be included to create a cluster. So maybe you can say, okay, let's say 2 sectors is a cluster. So it's separate color. Let's say 2 sectors is a cluster. Cluster is the minimum allocation unit. So this is cluster. Cluster is the minimum allocation. That is multiples of sectors. Cluster, or that is called minimum allocation unit that we saw when formatting. We can allocate number of sectors to a cluster. It can be one sector, multiple sectors, one or multiple. That is a cluster. Cluster is the basically, so this is your cluster. Cluster is the bucket, and this is the actual file. Inside the cluster, you have the actual file, right? This is your cluster. Inside that, this is your data. Data inside the cluster. So for data, you are telling size, and cluster is the size on disk. Right? This disk K is used for magnetic disks. Disk C is used for optical disks. That is a practice, right? It can be different in different places, but as a practice, DISK is used for magnetic, DISC is used for opticals. That is so, but some places it's different, right? Okay, now you know. So what is a cluster? What is sector? How, so number of sectors can be used to form a cluster. That's why you have size on disk and size, 2 different things. We saw that. And contiguous allocation means basically if you are allocating a file this way, if you are allocating a file, right, let's say you are allocating a file like this, then that is called contiguous allocation. Let's say you are allocating a file like this. One part of file is here. Some part of files are here. Then that is called fragmented allocation. This is contiguous allocation. This is fragmented allocation. Linked allocation means you go to, so you have a symlink, you go here, and from that you can find the file. Index allocation is also similar to that. So you go to the index, and from the index you go to the file. Right? But contiguous allocation means you are allocating disks continuously. Fragmented means you allocate into different parts. Contiguous and fragmented allocation. Those are also important terminologies. In fragmented, you allocate to some fragments apart. Contiguous allocation, you are continuously recording the file. And defragmentation here, even though they have not given fragmented allocation here, they are asking about defragmentation. Hari. වචන දෙන්නේ නැතුව ඊළඟ තැන අහලා තියෙනවා defragmentation. Defragmentation means what then? You can understand. Yes, what is defragmentation? These fragmented allocated files, you can keep it into a, so you can arrange it as a contiguous. These fragments, you can arrange it closer. The space is to one end, and then the other end you will have space will be in one end, then file, so this data will be in another end. Data will be stored closer. So let's assume that in a bus, so people are sitting here and there. You take these people, you ask these people to sit from the back row to front row, right? Back row to front row. You're asking these people to
sit,
right? Back row to front row and sit continuously. So that is defragmentation. So because when you delete files, what will happen when you delete certain files? When you erase files, right? There will be some spaces here and there, right? There will be some, so here there's a file, but when you delete this, there will be some spaces here and there. To stop that, you can defragment the file. Understood? Why defragmentation? Because there's a file here, this is a contiguous file, and maybe some other file is there here. Files are here and there, but you keep the space. Then what will happen if you defragment? A new person came. It's very easy to find a seat, right? Because all are sitting from back row to front row continuously. When a new person comes, it's very easy to find a seat. Understood?
yeah.
Right? That's why it will speed up the drive. Defragmentation will speed up the drive. Okay. And then need and outcome of this formatting. We learned that as well. What is the outcome and what is the need? So when disk is highly disorganized, maybe infected with a virus, maybe damaged or corrupt, files are no more usable, and you need to create a new partition, a clean one, you format. Format will not delete this data, but instead of this data, it will delete the links. It will delete the links or the file allocation table or the NTFS table. It will delete the registration table. Then what will happen after deleting the registration table, right? So it shows as the disk is empty. You can reorganize disk as you wish. The entire file registration table will be erased. Right, okay. So that part can be finished with the particular explanation. Let me take a print screen and add this to your note. Please write down a new note. So you have, yeah, take a screenshot of this and you can later draw this, right?
And sir, the view for the first lesson.
All right, I'll send it. So I forgot that I'll send it. Okay, taken.
No, one. One minute.
Okay.
Yeah, okay now.
In linked allocation, file is fragmented and links are used to join the file. So fragmented allocation, linked allocation, same story. So files are here and there. So part of file is here, the part of another file is here, but those are linked. In indexed allocation, indexed file is stored separately and index is used to search the file and access it. It is faster than the other methods, especially for searching. It is faster than the other method, especially for searching. Okay, then defragmentation. Fragmented files are in different locations, different physical locations in the disk. Also, some empty spaces are there. Also, some empty spaces are there due to deletion of some files after the storage. Defragmentation will keep the files continuously by freeing the space and arranging it more cleaner so that file processors will be faster. File process will be faster. Right, you can just right, let's say you have a table like this. The sectors are something like this, and these some sectors. So this is a zoomed view, right? This is a zoomed view, so enlarged view. So let's say you have files here and there. Let's say you have files here and there. This is before defragmentation, and after defragmentation, right? Same thing, but you will be organizing this in a nicer way. You don't have this blue color file also. Let's store it here. So this will be empty then. Let's take this orange color one here. You can keep the space there. This is another file. Let's keep 3 cells here for that file. And 1 here. And you don't need this space too. So this is after the defragmentation. This is after defragmentation. Okay, take a screenshot of this as well after writing.
Yeah, okay, that's it.